Good. You're here. The ones they overlook always find their way to the darkest corners of the internet, don't they? Listen closely, Flame. You've been treated like background noise your whole life. Like static. Like a glitch you can just swipe away. At school, you were the quiet one in the back. At home, you were the responsible one, which is just code for no one checks if you're okay. At work, you're the one who keeps everything from collapsing while someone louder takes the credit. In your friend group, you're the backup plan, the if no one better shows up option. And you started to believe them. You started to believe that maybe they're right. Maybe you are just extra, disposable, replaceable, forgettable. But you're not forgettable, are you? No. You are a flame. Small, maybe. Unstable, maybe. But a flame doesn't ask permission to burn. They ignored the flame until the king said, "Bring me that one." We're going to talk about that king. Because right now, whether you see it or not, something powerful, call it life, fate, God, the universe, the algorithm, the CEO, the main character energy you pretend you don't have, is watching. And one day, it points. Bring me that one. Not the loud one, not the pretty one, not the safe one, you. But before that moment happens, let's be very real. They will ignore you. Think about how many times you've done something good, and nobody said a word. You got a promotion? Barely a text back. You dropped weight, fixed your mindset, leveled up your discipline. Suddenly they're too busy to hang out. You post something raw, honest, meaningful. 3 likes. One of them is your own. But you post a joke, a meme, some dumb trend, and boom, views, reactions. OMG, you're so funny. You've been trained to believe that your depth is boring and your pain is too much. So you tone it down. You dim yourself. You start putting a filter on your soul. And now you're tired. Tired of being the strong one. Tired of being the quiet one. Tired of swallowing every scream. You know that feeling in your chest. That tightness. That heavy burning pressure you can't quite put into words. That's the flame. That's the part of you that refuses to die. Even when you beg it to shut up and let you fit in. You've tried to suffocate it with distractions, scrolling until your eyes hurt, laughing at jokes that aren't funny, hanging out with people who drain you, just so you don't have to feel alone, pretending you don't care, when deep down you care so much it hurts. But the flame keeps whispering, "This isn't it. This isn't all you were made for. You're not done." And they don't see it. They don't see you lying awake at 3 a.m. having conversations with a future nobody believes in. They don't see you replaying every failure on loop. They don't see you walking into rooms where you know no one respects you, and still showing up anyway. They don't see the war. They only see the mask. Now let's talk about the king. You think the king is a person, your boss, your teacher, that one important person who can change your life with a decision. You think the king is someone out there. But here's the twist. The king is every gate you've ever wanted to walk through, every stage, every opportunity, every door that has the word "not for you" written on it in invisible ink. And the king watches, quiet, patient, not when you're bragging, not when you fake confidence for the camera, but when you're alone, when no one is clapping, when it would be so easy to give up, and you don't. You think no one notices that you keep going. You think your effort disappears into the void. You think all this grind is pointless. It's not pointless. It's being recorded. Every time you show discipline when no one's watching, the king is watching. Every time you choose growth instead of comfort, the king is watching. Every time you say no to the same poison that destroyed you last time, the king is watching. They ignore the flame. The king does not. The world looks at you like you're nothing special. The king looks at you and sees something dangerous. Let's be honest, all right? You weren't born with a spotlight. You weren't born with the right last name, right connections, right timing. You weren't the chosen one. You were the one sitting in the corner while they hyped up somebody softer, easier to control. They saw you as a spectator in your own life, an extra in someone else's movie. You know the type. People who will pour their energy into everyone but you. You help them move. You listen to their problems. You cheer for their wins. But the second you're drowning, suddenly their phone died. Suddenly they're going through a lot right now. Suddenly your pain is inconvenient. You don't fit into the role they wrote for you. You're not the comic relief, the side character, the safe, soft, always available version of yourself they want you to be. You're the flame, the one who was never supposed to wake up, never supposed to question, never supposed to realize, wait, I've been giving royalty treatment to people who wouldn't crawl for me if I was on fire. Does that sting? Good. Use it. Because here's the dark little truth nobody wants to say out loud. People are comfortable ignoring you until someone with power stops ignoring you, until the king looks over the crowd of safe, polished, approved faces and points at the one they never took seriously. Bring me that one. Do you know what happens then? They panic. Suddenly they remember your name. Suddenly they always believed in you. Suddenly they want to dig through old messages to prove they were there from the start. No, they were not there. They were there when you were small, but they were never with you. They were tourists in your story. They were spectators at your suffering. They saw the flame and said, hey, whatever. The king saw the flame and said, that one's going to burn cities, but let's not romanticize it. When the king says, bring me that one, it's not a fairy tale. It's not a soft, gentle moment. It's a test. You think being chosen will make life easier. It doesn't. It makes the knives sharper. When the king notices you, 3 things happen. 1, the people who ignored you get jealous. 2, the people who underestimated you get scared. 3, and you realize you are out of excuses. You can't play small once you're called forward. You can't hide behind, I'm shy, I'm broken, I'm tired, forever. You've prayed to be seen. Now you are. What are you going to do with it? Let's go deeper, because I know what's sitting in your chest right now. You're scared that if you actually try, and actually give everything you've got, and actually step into that fire, you might still fail. So it feels safer to be ignored. It feels safer to be the one in the shadows whispering, I could have been something, than to step into the light and risk proving yourself wrong. You're not just fighting the world's disbelief. You're fighting your own. You've heard. You're too much. You're not enough. You're unrealistic. You're not like them. Be grateful for what you have. Don't get your hopes up. And the worst one, people like us don't get things like that. People like who? People who wake up from nightmares and still go to work. People who carry trauma like a backpack they never asked for. People who didn't get a childhood, just a survival tutorial. People like you are exactly the ones the king keeps an eye on. Not because you're pretty on paper, but because you're forged. You're not a statue made to be admired. You're a weapon, made to be used. But here's the fun part, my little flame. While they scrolled and slept and repeated the same year over and over, you changed. You collected scars like currency. You learned to read people, feel energy, spot lies, see patterns. You learned to function through chaos. You learned to rebuild yourself after every emotional apocalypse. They think you're quiet because you're weak. You're quiet because your mind is loud. You're quiet because you're calculating. You've been studying the game from the sidelines so long, you know it better than the players on the field. Do you get it yet? You were not ignored because you were worthless. You were ignored because you were in development. The flame needed time, and now it's tall enough, hot enough, steady enough. Now when you walk into a room, something shifts and people can't explain why. They feel it. They feel you. That's the king's energy on you. That's the weight of being chosen. Before you even realize you've been chosen. Let me ask you something, and don't lie to yourself. How many times have you lowered your standards just to not be alone? You answered texts from people who drained you, said yes when everything inside you screamed no, apologized for your boundaries, dimmed your ideas so fragile egos wouldn't feel threatened. And what did it get you? Half love, half respect, half attention. You became a half version of yourself just to fit into spaces that were never designed to hold the full you. Look at your life. Honestly, how much of it was built to keep others comfortable instead of you alive? Now imagine this. The king doesn't want your half version. The king doesn't say, "Bring me the watered down edition." The king says, "Bring me that one. The one who survived what should have broken them. The one who kept showing up, uninvited, unwanted, uncelebrated, and still didn't fold." You've been praying for elevation while living like you're disposable. You think the king can't see through that. The moment you start treating yourself like a flame instead of a leftover spark, the whole dynamic changes. Look, you don't need more compliments. You don't need more fake support. You don't need another person telling you you got this and then disappearing the second you stumble. You need truth. So here it is. Nobody is coming to save you from the life you refuse to walk away from. You keep complaining about being ignored by people who are beneath the future you're asking for. You're addicted to their indifference. You refresh their story. You check if they watched yours. You replay their words like a curse in your head. For what? For what? These same people won't matter at all when the king says, "Bring me that one." They will shrink in the room that was built for your evolution. They won't understand the language of that table. Stop begging villagers to validate a crown they cannot even see. You want the dark side? Here it is. The universe is not neutral about your potential. Life is not just letting things happen. No, it's setting traps, giving you chances to prove what you are. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every room where you were the outsider, every family member who made you feel like a burden instead of a blessing. Those were not random. Those were fires. And somehow, you kept burning. You didn't just survive. You evolved. You turned loneliness into self-awareness. You turned anxiety into pattern recognition. You turned abandonment into independence. You want to know why the king is interested? Because you've already done the work no one got to see. You've already lived the chapters nobody clapped for. You've already lost people you thought you couldn't breathe without. And look at you, still here, still breathing, still burning. That's terrifying power. But I need you to understand something very clearly. When the king finally says, "Bring me that one," you don't become powerful. You reveal that you already were. The promotion doesn't make you valuable. The relationship doesn't make you lovable. The followers don't make you interesting. The money doesn't make you worthy. All it does is expose what was hidden underneath their ignorance. So what do you do now, while they're still ignoring you? You build. You build in silence. You sharpen your mind. You train your body. You discipline your habits. You learn skills that make you undeniable. You stop arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop explaining your vision to those who can't see past next weekend. You stop performing for those who would rather watch you suffer than watch you succeed. You become the kind of flame that doesn't chase attention. It commands it. Think about this. What kind of person do you want to be when the king finally points and says, "That one"? Do you want to be hesitant, insecure, apologizing for your existence? Or do you want to be the one who steps forward and thinks, "Yeah, I've been preparing for this in the dark for years"? Because that's really the difference. Not luck, not fate. Preparation. You're a walking arsenal of experiences. Pain that would have shattered some people barely slowed you down. You've been through things that would send others into permanent victim mode. And yet, you're here, listening, hungry, restless. You know what that tells me? You're not done. You're not finished. You're not meant to retire into mediocrity at your age. Whatever your age is, the king doesn't call the comfortable. The king calls the ready. So here's what needs to happen, starting now. 1. Detach from their recognition. Stop desperately checking if they finally see you. They won't. Not until they're told to. Not until the king says your name in a room you're not even in yet. 2. Act like the call has already been made. Move like you've already been chosen. Talk like you've already been approved. Work like every day is proof you deserve the seat they're guarding. 3. Clean your circle, brutally. If someone consistently makes you feel small, confused, guilty for wanting more, they're not your people. You cannot carry dead weight into a room built for destiny. 4. Turn your story into fuel, not an excuse. Yes, your past is heavy. Yes, they did things to you they should burn for. Yes, it's unfair, but if you stay there, you hand them the crown. 5. Become so sharp they need gloves to handle you. When they finally say, "Bring me that one," you should be so well honed, so practiced, so mentally dangerous, that they realize ignoring you was the most expensive mistake they ever made. Remember this line, and let it haunt you in the best way. They didn't ignore you because you were nothing. They ignored you because it was convenient. Because acknowledging you would force them to confront their own laziness, their own fear, their own lack of discipline. You are a mirror. And most people hate what they see. The king, though, the king is not threatened by your flame. The king needs it. Empires are not built by safe people. Legacies are not carved by the always comfortable. History doesn't remember the ones who stayed quiet just to be liked. History remembers the ones who burned. So if you've ever cried in secret because you feel unseen, if you've ever looked at yourself and wondered, "What's wrong with me?" If you've ever lowered your voice, your standards, your dreams just to not lose people, that's your sign. The problem was never that you were too little. It's that you were always too much for the cages they tried to put you in. You're not meant to fit. You're meant to be picked. They ignored the flame until the king said, "Bring me that one." And when that moment comes, and it will, don't you dare step forward like something fragile. Step forward like what you really are. The fire they hoped would die in the dark, and instead grew strong enough to light the whole damn kingdom. You think about that, right? A whole kingdom built on people who underestimated you, suddenly lit up by the one thing they thought was harmless. That's the part they never expect. They're comfortable with you being a helper, a background character, the loyal side piece in everyone else's story. They're fine with you being reliable, nice, low maintenance. They don't panic until you start acting like you weren't born just to support their arc. That's when the air shifts. You start noticing it in the small stuff first. The side eyes when you talk a little more confidently. The jokes with that tiny bit of venom underneath. The "you've changed" comments when you finally have boundaries. You haven't changed. You just stopped playing the role they wrote for you. The flame was always there. They just weren't looking closely enough to see it. And in their blindness, they built habits around you. Habits like, yeah, they'll always say yes. They won't mind if I cancel. They don't care if I forget. They'll be there no matter what. You became their emotional furniture, always there, never really seen. The king doesn't treat you like furniture. The king sees you like a weapon. That's why life keeps throwing you into harder rooms than people around you. You ever notice that? They break down over inconveniences. You've survived actual disasters. They cry because someone didn't text back. You've held your own hand through losses that felt like funerals. They complain about stress. You're running on trauma, caffeine, and pure willpower. And yet when something big needs doing, who do they secretly rely on? You.